The Stephie Smalls Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Rithmm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Rithmm is giving away a $250 future and throwing a March Madness party. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for details. Plus, SGPN is giving away $2,000 in our free March Madness bracket competition. Sign up today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket. Also, compete against SGPN this March in our $75K winner-take-all college basketball survivor contest. Enter at splashsports.com/SGPN. Finally, gear up for March with Merch Madness. You can even now buy the brand new Stephie Smalls Show gear before anyone else and use the promo code MADNESS for 20% off in the SGPN store. Get in now before the promo code is done.
Are you ready?
What's going on, everyone? Happy almost Friday. CBB, March Madness, and free agency talk. Going to bring in my good friend Jared Smith, who I believe is sweating some bets behind stage right now. After that, it's the Players Week, so we have to talk about some golf. My favorite here, Sam Wagman's going to join me, but we'll start with Jared. Jared, why don't you join me now? Fox Sports Radio and BetMGM Network at Jared Smith Bets on X. What are you sweating back there? How's it going?
It's going. We got Vandy. So we hopped in live on Vandy plus 10.5 at halftime of this SEC game. My strategy for these SEC games is the team that takes the big lead, and this should be your college basketball live betting strategy anyways. The team that takes the big lead, usually that team takes their foot off the gas at some point, especially in the SEC when they've got 4 more games after this.
Yeah.
They want to win the tournament. So you're trying to save a little petrol in the tank for later. So as it usually does, Steph, it's going to come down to free throws. And right now, Texas is up 7. They're at the free throw line. There's a minute left. So we'll have a fun little sweat during our little segment here.
And this is like your bread and butter. This is like your time. You love March Madness. Like you are the perfect person to have on because this is more, not that I'm ever not betting a lot on vibes, a lot of vibes betting. Might occasionally throw in a little bit of stats, a little bit of research, tail someone else so I can blame them when it doesn't hit. I never do that. But people on Twitter love to do that. How do you approach March Madness as a whole? Because it's a marathon.
Yeah. It's tough. So I think the way that it kind of shapes out is it's a nice, perfect little dessert to football season where I keep like a half of an eye on college basketball in November and December.
Yeah.
And then once we get into the NFL playoffs and, college football season kind of winds down and we're kind of heating up with conference season, that's when I can start because there's only so much time in the day. And obviously football is our full attention. But once we get past the Super Bowl, it's like you're drinking from a fire hose. Like But basically, I take a week off, take a few days off after the Super Bowl, and then I dive right back into what's happening in the conferences and trying to handicap each individual conference. I have a few of the mid-major conferences that I specialize in.
Okay.
This year, I really like the ASUN with Lipscomb in North Florida. I really like the Horizon League. I like some of these random leagues. And then obviously the major tournaments, the major conferences we keep tabs on. But I think that's my biggest advice. Like if you're overwhelmed after football season, you obviously love March Madness. You want to bet it. It's one of the biggest events of the year.
Yeah.
You've got to be a little bit chill with what you're trying to accomplish. Like don't try to handicap the entire board because you'll go insane. Pick a couple of conferences you like, pick a few teams that you like, focus on that, and you'll at least wet your whistle. And then once we get to the tournament, the field thins down and you can kind of wrap your arms around it a little bit easier. But it's not a fun 2-week stretch. Like that end of February, first week of March, it's almost like I'm studying for an exam at the end of a semester that I neglected to study for the first 6 months of the year. And you got to get up to speed real quick.
And I do the same thing kind of with NBA too. And that's okay. Like I said I think it was the first show, I am just, the people that just go to church Christmas and Easter. Like it's okay to just, if you're just a March Madness and you just do the NBA playoffs, you know what? Some of us we only have so much bandwidth to do so much. But I think that's good advice because it also can be overwhelming and tempting because you open up the books and there's all these games. Like there's tons of games. Like you could go crazy, and you can also completely deplete your bankroll by the time you're done because everything is so tempting.
Yeah. You got to pick a few. Again, like for me, it's usually 4 to 6 plays a day. Like I try not to go past that, at least with like the big ones. I'm maybe like, for example, this Vanderbilt game, it's like, maybe 25%, 30% of what I normally would put on a game. It's literally just, I'm watching the game. I've got another game starting in an hour. I'm trying to kill some time. I want to have a good sweat. My buddy texts me, hey, I like Vandy. All right, $20, whatever. I think that's the way I approach. And also, I think for the casual person that's not really invested in the overnight numbers and how the lines move and all that CLV BS. Can I curse on this show, by the way? Is that allowed?
You can say fuck. You can say whatever you want.
The CLV bullshit that gets fed down your throats on a daily basis. Unless you're betting large sums of money for a professional group, that for the most part is meaningless. Like it's not as important.
Yeah.
I think the best way to bet college basketball is to fade the runs. You're watching the game, you're with your buddies, you see Texas go on this crazy run, they can't miss a shot. That you bet against them. It's like, oh, I bet Texas isn't going to cover this number now. Like I think that's kind of my favorite way to bet college basketball during the tournament because you're watching these games. It happens in the NBA too. It's just crazy runs back and forth. Like LeBron will go off 20 minutes and then he'll take the next 10 minutes off and then allow the other team to get back in the game. So you have to just kind of fade the runs as hard as that is.
Yeah. And find the cool off spot because there is a lot of that. Like teams get hot and then when they cool off, that's the time to jump in. What are like your best upcoming bets? Like, is there anything to bet? Like what should I bet right now if I want to get in on? I'll be honest with you. I don't even know. Again, like this is just like, I'm either fading someone that annoys me on Twitter and that's what's in the parlay. You know what I mean? Like there's different approaches to how I go about it just to get in on the action. But what are you betting right now?
There's plenty of ways you could fade people you don't like on social media. I feel like that's endless. I made a pretty large bet today on Grand Canyon to win the WAC Vegas. I don't know if you're familiar with that tournament here, but it's one of my favorite conferences. So a big misconception about Vegas during the tournament is conference tournament week. This week is, in my opinion, the much better week to be in Vegas compared to next week. Everybody wants to come next week for March Madness, and I get it. It's fun, but you're paying top dollar prices. And there's like 4 tournaments in town this week. You can go to like 4 different games, 4 different venues on one day and go to all these different games at the Orleans Hotel, of all freaking places, the Orleans Hotel, Grand Canyon, and the WAC this week. I really like this Grand Canyon team. Ty Grant Foster, he's an NBA player. You don't have a lot of NBA type players in the WAC. So when he's on the floor and I'm hearing he's healthy, he's been injured the last few games, hasn't played. So not fully baked into the number. I got Grand Canyon plus 155 to win the WAC. Nice. Essentially, it's a money line play, 3 straight nights. They play in the quarterfinals tonight. They play the semifinals later this week. And then the championship game will be Saturday night. So that's one of those where you could just put a plus money bet in there and you'll have 3 different bets. Hopefully, if they win, you'll have 3 different money line plays, quarterfinal, semifinal, and then final. So I think Grand Canyon, I really like Grand Canyon to win the WAC this year. Is one of my favorite bets.
WAC is such a funny, like how many, like
WAC
it's hilarious. WAC, yeah. And you kind of, it's funny because I was going to ask you too, because you're someone that does live in Vegas. And I'm like, do you avoid the strip during March Madness? Like, is that?
I avoid the strip unless I have friends in town and they're begging me to come to the strip. Like, unless you text me like, hey, I'm going out to the strip tonight. I'm in town.
Right.
That would be the only way.
Yeah,
right. Or actually, I take that back. There's actually some good shows on the strip that I'll go to from time to time. And the restaurants are pretty solid too. But I don't like usually go out on the strip unless it's like an occasion. I try to stay away.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What about brackets? Because it's like bracket season's about to be here. Like, what's the best advice or like approach to making brackets?
Be comfortable being uncomfortable because your bracket will be destroyed the first day. But as long as you get a Final Four right, or even half of a Final Four and the national champion, you have a chance to win. So don't worry about what happens in the first round. As long as you keep your big boys intact, like Elite 8 and on, the first round games are meaningless. Like because they're only worth the least amount of points. Now, unless you're doing a survivor pool, I have one this year. I know the SGP guys have one too. Like I love the survivor pools. I think those are fantastic too. Obviously, those you have to win every time you make a pick. But if you're just doing a straight bracket and you're filling out all the games, you're not like the odds of getting a bracket 100%. It's like it's never going to happen.
Never.
So just keep your Final Four intact and you'll be good.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do like some quick like comps, like CBB to NFL. So I'm going to give you like an NFL team, and it doesn't have to be like, they don't have to be the big names. It could be some of these teams that you've been following a little bit more closely. Who are like the Commanders, like kind of the team that everyone like surprised with that could go on like a little bit of a run here?
I kind of like Gonzaga a little bit. I think they're dangerous. They just won last night in the WCC. I think they're going to be a 7 seed, which was big because if they won last night and they got off the 8 line. And if you're on the 8 line or the 9 line, you have to play the 1 seed in the second round. Okay. So they won the WCC last night. I think that bumped them up to the 7 seed, which means you get to play a 2 seed in that second round, the round of 32. Okay. I think that's a very dangerous spot for a 2 seed because Gonzaga's got a tremendous pedigree. They're not afraid of the moment. They've been to the Final Four. They've been to the, not with this team, but with prior teams under Mark Few. I think this is not as elite of an offensive team as we've seen in the past with Gonzaga, but they have a lot of size and depth. And I think that's what makes them dangerous is they can kind of beat you in multiple ways. I like Nembhard, the guard, the big man. They got a couple big guys in the middle that are absolutely fantastic. I think Gonzaga might be a little bit of a dangerous team that we're not really talking about over the next couple weeks.
Okay, so give me. So how about this one? I guess we'll stay in the NFC East. So Eagles. What about a team like they're just a really good team? A lot of people are overlooking them because it's a team that not everyone loves to root for all the time, but they're
Duke,
just going to
obviously everyone hates Duke, right? Everyone hates Duke. They hate when Duke's good, but Duke is as solid as it gets. I think Duke deserves to be the favorite in the national. Like right now, if you pulled up your apps, Duke will be the favorite pretty much to win the title on every app you're on. Okay. I think they deserve to be the favorite. I think they've got the size and they've got the offense. Like they check every box. I can't think of a spot for Duke besides there's one red flag for Duke. They haven't played in a ton of close games. But I don't know if that's really a red flag because they're blowing everybody out, and that means they're a really good team.
Right, there's no opportunity for that.
Yeah, that's like the worst thing I could say about Duke is they haven't played in a lot of close games this year. They're probably going to play in some close games in the Elite 8 and the Final Four, maybe even Sweet 16. But I think they're going to breeze through the first 2 rounds. I think they're the best. I think they're going to be the best and the freshest 1 seed because the ACC's having a bad year, and I think they're going to kind of coast through at least to the Sweet 16.
I love it. All right, last one here, and then we'll switch over to some NFL after some ad reads, everyone's favorite part. So what about the Chiefs? Like reads. A favorite going into, like one of the favorites kind of going into this, but they have some of these kind of like flaws at this, like there's a couple of flaws like there at the surface.
Auburn. I think Auburn is, and I love their toughness. So Auburn's a team that they're older than most teams in college basketball. They're like men. They're like 24-year-old men. But they just played a gauntlet SEC, and they're overrated, right? Like, what's the knock on the Chiefs? They never covered the spread. I think that's kind of the Auburn situation. Like, I will be looking to fade Auburn if they're like a 10-point favorite against the team that has a pulse, because I just think they're not at their peak optimum levels because they've been drained by a really tough SEC season.
Yeah, love it. All right, we will talk about some NFL free agency in a second, but first, SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook's DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cash back rewards for using your Edge Boost card, literally getting money back for being a degenerate. And your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. You can sign up at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SMALLS for 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. MyBookie.ag, promo code SMALLS. Now we'll talk a little bit about free agency. A little bit. That wasn't bad, right? I'm getting there. I think it's going well.
You're crushing it. You're doing great.
Free agency. is fun. You're a Jets fan, right?
Sadly, yes.
That's funny because that's my response too. Whenever
Sadly, I'm cursed. I'm actually, honestly, it's funny. I'm enjoying Aaron Rodgers milking this because I know he's not going to my team. Whereas 2 years ago when he was making this situation, I had a feeling he was coming to the Jets. And I'm enjoying watching the other teams, like your Giants, twist in the wind as Aaron Rodgers decides which team he wants to go to.
Like Rodgers, I just stop. Just stop. I don't understand. First of all, everything just seems so silly. You're very obviously going to the Steelers. I feel like that feels very obvious to me. You're holding out hope for the Vikings. What are we talking about?
No, he's not going to the Vikings.
You're not going to the Vikings. Everyone wants to get so romantic about history and this and that. It's just exhausting. Yeah. I don't know. First of all, is Rodgers even really Steelers fans are elated? Is he even enough to get them over this first round knockout in the playoffs they always have? Can they maybe they get through one round, but where does Rodgers take, does it elevate this team to what extent, I guess?
It's a good question because I think the way I feel about Rodgers is the same way I feel about LeBron and Luka in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Game 7, 1 game roll of the dice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers than a lot of different quarterbacks in the NFL, more than most. But you got to get through a 17 game. Mm-hmm. It's okay. You got the technical difficulties. You do think. Yeah, you got to get through a 17-game regular season, and then you got to get through the playoffs before you get to that level where he's in a Super Bowl, 1 game roll of the dice for all the marbles. If you could tell me that there's another quarterback that can take the Steelers through the gauntlet of the regular season in a tough AFC North with a good Ravens team and some other tough teams on the schedule, right? They were in the playoffs last year, so they had to play, they're going to have to play a tougher schedule. And then you just parachute Rodgers in and he's ready to roll for the playoffs. Right. Yeah, I feel good about that. But I just think the Father Time is undefeated. It's going to be tough to get him through a full year and stay productive. We saw massive ebbs and flows. Obviously, the first year was a wash. But last year started out terrible. And then at the end of the year, you started playing pretty well, actually. I don't think he was the reason why the Jets struggled at the end of the year. But I don't know if that's sustainable for a full season. That's where I think the Steelers might have some issues, or anyone who signs them.
Yeah. I mean, he's just obviously not. And I think it's kind of, this is with Russ too. We know these guys from watching them and knowing their names from not what we're the consistent playmakers that we're used to. So it's very easy to get hung up. And I know, I tweeted out even Steelers fans saying good luck with Russ. First of all, the Giants.
He's going to the Giants now after you tweeted that.
Also, great. I only need for the Giants a slightly below league average warm body. That is what I want. I have not had that. So Russ, to me, fine. He is, but at least he's kind of no drama. He's very fucking corny. It's not, everyone knows on this show, it's not my favorite thing. It's going to be painful as hell. But I think it's better if you are in a situation where you're bringing in a rookie quarterback than maybe an Aaron Rodgers in that situation.
That's what I would do. Yeah. If I was Joe Shane, I would trade because you're not going to be around to make your 26, 27, 28. Right? Right. If he's not going to be there over the next 2 years, why do you care if you're trading your 2027 second round, first round pick to move up in the draft and try to get Cam Ward? That's what I would do. If I was Joe Shane and this was it, and I had my back against the wall, I'd push all my chips into the middle and I'd say, here you go, Tennessee, you can have them all, but I want Cam Ward. And then I would let the chips fall from there and see how things go. Because let's be honest, let's say you don't get Aaron Rodgers. Let's say he goes to Pittsburgh. Let's say Russell Wilson goes to Cleveland.
Right.
What are the Giants going to do? I don't even know who's on the depth chart, right? Is it still Tommy DeVito? Is he still at the top of the depth chart right now? If the season started today, would it be Tommy DeVito, QB1 for the Giants?
He's the only quarterback under contract. So I don't know. I don't know what is gonna. It's a horrible situation. There's got to be more of this. I don't know what the Titans Do you want Cam Ward? Is that what the deal is? Is this just all is the first pick actually not up for grabs, or what is it? Because also, are you going to roll with Will Levis? I think they're in a situation where you have a new GM.
I wouldn't roll with Will Levis. If I'm the Titans, I would take Cam Ward. but I'm not in that room. I don't know if they view Cam Ward because the question is, and I was curious about this too with Darnold, because I was thinking to myself, let's say a Titans, how do they view Darnold compared to Cam Ward? Do you want Darnold for 3 years or do you want Cam Ward for 3 years? Like, obviously Cam Ward's significantly cheaper, so you have to factor that into the equation too. But Darnold's significantly more NFL ready. Like, exactly what you're getting. So that was an interesting comp for me. And how teams grade Cam Ward against, or how the Titans grade Cam Ward against Will Levis. Will Levis is entering, I think it's the final year of the rookie deal. I think it's year 3, right? So they'll have to extend him in this offseason.
Yeah, it's upcoming. Yeah, it would have to be. We have to be closing in on it because he was part of that.
Yeah, so do you want 1 year of Will Levis and then you have to pay him and then the cycle essentially would reset again next year? Or are you willing to say, we'll take Will Levis and then we'll draft Cam Ward and we'll let those two compete in camp. Whoever wins the job, and we'll worry about that. That's an August problem. Like, to me, that sounds more efficient than, just.
And they have a lot of holes. They have a lot of holes on that roster. Like, this is kind of a good opportunity where, like, and it's also very rare that you're in a situation where, like, the team drafting from 3 is asking to come up, where it's like you're still going to get one of the guys that you would have taken anyways if you don't want Cam Ward. Like, you're going to get one of your guys. So it's like you're in kind of a good spot. But I think one of the only pieces really left to fall is, like, Cooper Kupp. Is there a landing spot for him that makes a lot of sense to you?
Depends on the price. I haven't heard anything on Cooper Kupp. He's going to find a job somewhere. I think it was just the Rams saw an opportunity to get Davante Adams on a short-term deal. And I think Davante really liked the idea of playing with Stafford. Davante Adams wants to win a Super Bowl. Like, I think that's why he followed Rodgers to the Jets. So I think Davante was just willing to maybe chop off a year. Because to me, like, the difference with all these quarterback contracts that I'm seeing, like, the Jets, for example, the Jets are a perfect example. The Jets got a lot of shit for the Justin Fields deal. Oh, Justin Fields is terrible. I get that. I understand. It's 2 years and it's $30 million guaranteed. For a quarterback, that's pennies. So it's a low-risk move. Like Davante Adams, it was a low-risk move. It's a 2-year deal. You're not giving up a lot of guaranteed money. That's kind of what Cooper Kupp's going to need. Probably going to be a 2-year deal, a little bit of a, low on the guaranteed money. Because I think his deal with LA was just, it was just a little bit, see what these teams do is they keep kicking the can down the road by restructuring the contracts and moving all the guaranteed money to later on in the deal. And then they get to that last year and they're like, well, I'm sorry, we just can't deal with this. So
you got to go. Yeah.
It's a really, honestly, the NFL, they got it really tough with some of these contracts. The way they manipulate it, Howie Roseman's a fucking wizard with this shit. Like, he just manipulates it and kind of keeps everyone intact. Like, what he's been able to do, and you're seeing it a lot too, like Patriots, Vikings. Notice a trend with the teams that spent big in free agency. Patriots, Drake May, rookie deal. Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, rookie deal. You're seeing the difference between teams that are on the rookie quarterback contracts and teams that are not.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with Justin Fields too, it's weird. Like, I think a lot of people, like, they look at these contracts and it's like everyone's freaking out. And it's like the cap is going up. So, like, yesterday's price is not today's price.
100%.
Like the price of even a backup quarterback is not like that. It's not the price that you are used to in your.
Someone's got to play the position. Like they got to start somebody at a starting quarterback at the NFL should make 10, 15, 20 million at least. Yeah. Minimum.
They're like even like the people comparing like Slayton and Saquon. Like that's not the same thing. No, it's not the same year and it's not the same thing at all. So like sometimes I think people like forget how like there's like a cap involved and there's other things involved than just.
People love to complain, Steph. That's why social media is undefeated. They're going to complain no matter what. You could have the perfect day, the perfect show, the perfect betting card. You can hit an outright in golf and they'll be like, why didn't you hit one last week? Like, it's just,
or they'll be like, oh, that number was bad. Like, shut the fuck
the number was bad. The number was
like,
bad.
I don't care. I won. Like, that's fine. Oh, you got to add this number. You got it. I had one guy, like, this was like probably last year. I forget what it was. I think it was like the difference was like a 50-1 and a 45-1. And I was like, if you think for 1 second I am going to argue with you about that, you're crazy.
People are crazy, but that's why this show exists. So you can call it out.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Let everyone know where they can find you. I'll let you get out of here.
I appreciate it. At Jared Smith Bets on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and IG. Fox Sports Radio every Saturdays,
Yeah.
BetMGM Network. Usually it's a Sunday show during the fall. During the off season, I'll do a lot on You Better You Bet. I'll be filling in a lot for Nick Cassos this summer. So yeah, just keep up with all the stuff on social media. Best way to follow me is there.
We have a Discord too.
Yeah, the Discord's been popping off. Got over 500 members now. I took the paywall off recently and it's blown up. You know, I really, honestly, you don't realize how many people are out there that really want to follow your work, because your stuff gets lost on social media sometimes because of the algorithm, and it just kind of gets lost in the weeds. But when you have that direct line of communication, Discord, YouTube, right? I think the YouTube stuff is fantastic because you get that chat open. People can talk to you. I think that is a great way for people to stay in touch with their favorite creators.
Absolutely. I love it. Everyone go follow Jared. We'll keep in touch. Talk to you soon. We'll have to get you back on maybe like during the peak of March Madness.
Yeah, let's do a draft thing too. Let's do some draft stuff.
Let's definitely do that. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. All right, Rithmm is throwing an epic March Madness party, and you're all invited. All Rithmm users are invited to a First for Watch party Wednesday, March 19th at the awesome, my favorite place in the world, Stadium Swim at Circa Las Vegas. Free drinks, love that. Plus, you get to hang out with the guys from SGPN. And it gets better. Rithmm is also giving away a $250 March Madness future for one random lucky Rithmm user. Even if you can't make the party, you can still win the future bet. Come by and use Rithmm to help you fill out your bracket and make some bets while you are there. A free party plus a chance at a $250 future bet. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for details. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party. And Underdog, which we will be putting together a slip when I bring on my friend Sam Wagman. NBA, NHL, college basketball, golf, whatever sport, you can cash in big with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Underdog is offering a Luka discount for every Lakers game for the rest of the regular season. So sign up with Smalls, 2 L's, SMALLS, to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SMALLS. And now, you guys that have been watching the show for some time know Swag Nasty Swagman, I just made that up, Sam Wagman, is joining me to talk about the players. How's it going? Hi, tomorrow's the weekend. Are you excited? Are your lights on? What's going on? Did you lose power?
I'm alive. I can't say for certain. I can't say for certain what happened, but we are here. I wasn't going to miss this for the world at all. So new setup. So I mean, no lights around me except for my ring light. So who needs lights?
On the Creators Classic broadcast is fucking horrible.
It's terrible. You would think there's 10 golfers there. You would think you can put 3 cameras on each group and follow along, and you'll have no issue getting every shot down. Even for ESPN Plus, that would feel like you feel like they could do that, but they can't do that. So I turned it off. It wasn't worth watching because I was missing half the shots.
Also, my OCD, like I want to stab my literal eyeballs out. That Gabby, golf girl. Why is it Gabby golf girl? And then like everyone else actually has their like I can't, my brain doesn't operate like that. It just was pissing me off. OCD wise.
I once won one of her giveaways. I was playing on a course down here in North Palm Beach, and she walked up to me on like the 16th hole that I was on and said, "If you're following me, I'll give you $500." And I was following her. Yeah, she just handed me $500. Like I've never seen anything like that.
Like
hilarious. But yeah, seems like a great deal.
Solid deal.
I'm chronically online. I follow almost every golf content creator. So,
and she's a cutie.
There we go.
All right, let's talk about the players. I love this tournament.
Stuff.
Not everyone loves this tournament. I love this tournament. You love this tournament. I don't know if you love this tournament, but you love this tournament, right?
I love this tournament.
Okay.
I will one day play this course, even if it costs me $1,000 to do it. But
I would love to play this course and lose like thousands of balls in the water. Like it would.
I was about to say the limit does not exist.
No.
Probably for either of us. I think I would probably hit at least 10 balls in the water on 17 trying to hit the green.
Yeah, it's finally nice out here, so I'm gonna golf tomorrow and Friday. So I'm very excited. But let's talk about some Smash or Pass. we're going to get right into it since I didn't do golf on Monday. I want to like make sure we get bets out there. Going to give this first one to you. He's not a winner. Tommy Fleetwood, top 20 plus 115. What are we thinking about Tommy?
It's very tough. He's played well here before. He's got a couple top 20 finishes here. Mm-hmm. He's got, he's in decent form right now. I'm going to give this a smash only because I think that in a week where you've seen a lot of water come on the course, it's been poor. It's been dumping rain in Jacksonville the last couple of days. This course is very soft. We saw that last year where it dumped rain the couple days before the tournament started, and I think the cumulative average was like 2.5 shots under par for the first round. Everybody balled out, including Tommy, who shot I think 4 under in that first round. He can score here, and he likes these Bermuda greens here. This is a ball striker's paradise, and there aren't many other ball strikers who can strike the ball like Tommy can. So I'm going to go with a top 20 here for Tommy because I like the number. I think it's very fair for him. He's been playing some nice inspired golf lately. He always seems to creep up there.
Inspired golf. That's so
on the weekend.
Inspired
it is. It's a journey. It's a journey for him. I don't know if that journey will ever end with him winning on American soil. It might not. But this is as good a tournament as any for him to do it. I wasn't able to pull the trigger on him outright this week, but I am betting the top 20.
Yeah, I have too many bets, so I don't like disagree with the top 20, but I do like this for a round 1 bet. So he's held the round 1 lead in 2 out of the last 5 years. I want some type of action on Fleetwood, so I went with top 10 after round 1 at plus 500. I kind of like that number quite a bit.
I really like that.
That's a nice number.
I really do like that. I really do like that. If I remember correctly, last year he shot -3 or -4 in the first round. Played really well. So, it's the type of course where he can really kind of get out ahead of everybody else with his ball striking and his accuracy off the tee. So, I'm good to go with that. I like that.
Okay, we'll do the next one here. Smash or pass. This is another guy where Kaya, you don't know what's going on right now. I'm barking. Okay. Smash or pass. Shane Lowry, top 20 plus 188. I see he's on a lot of cards a little bit as an outright. That is a little scary for me. He also last week lost strokes off the tee, and he's kind of been trending the wrong way since at Pebble with that. So that concerns me, but he is historically a good driver, elite iron player. We know that. Good around the greens. He's like a splash putter. I don't know. We're not gonna compliment his putting too much, but his history with the players is nice. He's playing good golf right now. He's someone that I tend to bet, I feel towards the beginning of the year, and then I kind of wean off of him and then maybe head back in when we get to some of those easier stuff down the road. But I like the plus 188, so that'll be a smash for me. What are you thinking?
I like the number. I don't like him this week, and for that reason, I'm going to pass this. The type of courses that I love to bet Lowry on are the types where you have that really thick rough around the green, where his scrambling ability really comes into play and is a key factor. You don't have that at PGA or not PGA National, TPC Sawgrass. It's all tight runoffs. There's no luscious rough around the green here. I don't know. I feel like the guys that I really want to back here this week are the really solid ball strikers, which Shane is, but it kind of gets a little minimized here in, when he's not that long off the tee. He's going to struggle to kind of, get out ahead of it. And I feel like for Shane, where you really want him is in some area where he excels over the rest of the field. And I really don't feel like we get that this week. Plus, he's been on a really good run of form lately. I have to feel like that dries up somewhere on one of these harder golf courses. Yeah. I'm picking Sawgrass for it to happen here. I actually think he might miss the cut.
He plays well here, though.
He does, but there's always a week where these guys fall apart. And with it coming with Augusta right around the corner, I think that this might be a little bit of a spot that you can fade Lowry at. He played well here. He finished T19 last year, but really kind of lost ground after playing really well in the first couple of rounds and then struggling on Saturday and Sunday here when everything calmed or everything kind of turned up a little bit. So I'm interested to see, his concentration looked a little off on the weekend last week as well, after he really looked like he was going to run away with that tournament early on. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm going to pass on this.
Okay, we'll talk about someone else that is playing some inspired golf. That's Michael Kim. Smash or pass T30 plus 135.
I mean, how can I turn it down? He hasn't finished outside the top 15 at any of his last 5 events. That's 2 signature events. That's the Genesis. I mean, he's been PGA National, Arnold Palmer, the Genesis. He's just crushing some of the toughest courses in the world here. He's not even breaking a sweat. I will say one thing about Michael Kim that worries me. A course like TPC Sawgrass forces you to play both shots. It doesn't allow you to just play a draw or a fade. Makes you play both of them. And he has never hit a fade well, nor has he ever played well at TPC Sawgrass. I think his best finish here is T60 in like 5 or 6 tries, and he's missed the cut in every other try that he's had here. Now, it's not saying much because this is the greatest golf we've ever seen Michael Kim play. He's already made the most money in any year of his career in just the first 2.5 months of the season. So there's something to be said for like just running like a god. I think that's the only thing we can say about Kim right now. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the smash here. The number is pretty good. Top 30. It's not too big of a barrier. I did see a top 40 at plus 110. Or plus 100. I saw Japan put that comment in there. I think that's probably a little bit of a better look. If you can get like a plus 105 or 110 on that, I'm sure you can get that somewhere. That might be a little bit more preferable, given the 135 number is a little bit of a tougher barrier there. But I would smash one of those placements on him just because he's playing such good golf and he feels confident in his game. Kim's one of the rare people who tells us how he feels, how he's playing, what he sees. He's one of those rare people that goes on Twitter and tells us everything, which is really valuable from a guy like him. So I'm going to take him for his word that he's, confident with the way he's playing, and I'm going to bet on him again this week.
I'm so dramatic. I really like Michael Kim. If you don't follow Michael Kim on Twitter, stripper name X, I like Michael Kim. I like what Michael Kim is doing. I saw David say this. This is one of the things, too, that worries me. He's playing a lot of fucking golf right now. Fucking hate that going into Sawgrass, kind of. Like, not that I kind of hate. Also, kind of hate that everyone's in on him. Like, that makes me nervous. I like the top 40, though. I think he's becoming a little bit too much of a darling. So I think I can ride the wave with, like, a top 40. But I'm definitely a little bit nervous for the similar reasons to what you said as well.
I mean, everything is green for him in his profile right now. The last 5 weeks, it's very odd. I mean,
he was like, the only thing out really well for me. Like,
I'm a little bit worried about his driving accuracy. He's only gained strokes, driving accuracy in 2 of his last 5, and that includes, obviously in Mexico that doesn't matter, but he managed to go without it at Torrey for the Genesis. He managed to lose accuracy at API, which is usually a death sentence. At least we saw last week. So I don't know. I mean, for him, I think it all rests on the putter. And those are really fast greens at Sawgrass. So we'll see what happens.
Okay,
I wouldn't be betting him to win. I would not be betting him to win by any stretch of the imagination. He's down to like 60-1 at some books.
See, like, can we just not be like, I don't know. It's just a little crazy to me, but whatever.
He's being steamed like Step Straka. He's being steamed like Step Straka. I can't speak.
Just say big Step. That's way easier.
No, it will not. I will. I refuse.
Speak of someone that I'm just like, that's one way too much of a public darling. Not betting on him, fading the living fuck out of him because I
was going to. I was going to take it at 50.
Good. I get it.
Yeah.
But no, no. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, he is this week's like who rates out the best in like every model, like just darting it from all over the course approach wise. But like he feels like a guy who's just due to crash out. Yeah. I hope he crashes out. I don't know. Something's off about him.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm out on Big Titty. Smash or pass. Hole in one on 17. Yes is plus 160.
I was gonna bet no on this until I saw the number. This is a pure number play. I mean, 3 aces in 2022 alone. There have been 8 aces in 8 events since 2016, an average of 1 per year. I mean, I think this is a smash. This has to be a smash bet only because it feels like the course is going to play really soft for the first couple of days, and I think that's when we're going to see it. Plus, there's always some good pin locations where these guys can just, hit it over the hole and let it rip back with some spin. With the way these greens are going to be, I don't know if they're going to be too firm until Sunday. So we could see some really advantageous hole locations for 17, and these guys will take dead aim at it. There's always been some scoring on this here, and guys tend to be really good at getting the ball in the pin here. So I'm going to look to see this on Thursday or Friday, and I think the odds go down dramatically in likelihood if there's not one by the end of Friday. But plus 160, I have to take yes on something that's averaged 1 per year.
Yeah, I fucked up because I meant to bet yes, and I realized I did the wrong thing like after you sent me this because I bet no with the FanDuel boost, but I meant to bet yes. So I'm rooting for there not to be one, which is like really fucking annoying because I don't want to bet that, but I did already. So it is what it is. Yeah. All right, let's do some quick quad D stuff. Who's your dad this week?
My dad this week is going to be Ludwig. I just feel like this is the place for him to get another big win here. He could go into Augusta as the hottest player in the world. It wouldn't shock me. I mean, 8th here in 2024, T22 in his previous start last week, and he won the Genesis, which basically hits the triple crown of what you need to be a player's champion. We saw from Jeff over at the Fantasy Grind on Twitter, one of the good Canadians out there, great golf bettor, very sharp. Player championship trends, 15 of the last 16 winners have had a previous best of T23 or better at TPC Sawgrass. The exception was Scotty in 2023, and he's freaking Scotty. So he doesn't have to buy by any trend. Last 8 winners, T33 or better in their previous start directly prior to the Players. And last 6 winners have finished T5 or better at an event over the last 3 months. 2 of the players on my card have hit these trends. Ludwig is one of them. The other one you threatened to send me to an African country for. But I think Ludwig is just,
I thought it was in Australia.
His odds are too long. No.
Okay.
No.
His odds, it doesn't, but Sam.
His odds are way too long.
He's a fucking loser.
I don't care.
He doesn't win.
I don't care. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
He's winless in 46
Let me finish. Second in total driving, Ludwig is. You cannot discount how good this kid is. And I took him at 18-1. I saw 20s to 1. He's still out there at 16-1. All of these are way too short for a guy that just won the Genesis and is just destroying golf courses. Looked really good over the weekend last week at API, and then 87th percentile in 100 to 150 range, where 32% of his approaches are going to come from this week. So I'm not worried at all about Ludwig. I think he is the guy to beat in this field. I do think that there is going to be a new winner. He's going to be Swedish, and his name's going to be Ludwig Åberg.
Yeah. We're taking him as our one and done. Like, I'm just gonna. I don't think we should even play around with it.
Yeah, I definitely think so. We're all set to have a big argument on that, but it's kind of hard when we both like are so in on one guy here this week. So definitely gonna roll with him for our one and done there in Mayo.
I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I have an issue for my dad. And it's Morikawa because I can't deny I hate myself. I'm actually not even gonna look up. I just can't. I'm not gonna deny what he's doing right now, and I'm just not. He's got to get over the hump at some point. It feels very Xander-esque, where it is gonna happen eventually, and it's gonna happen the week I'm not on him. I think it's like probably better to just take the top 5 because I don't believe that he is going to win. So that's like my responsible advice on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for how well he's kind of bounced back a little bit, but at the same time, I'm gonna push back on you the same way you push back on me on Cantlay. He hasn't won. He's winless over his past 26
I don't even think they're in the
starts.
same category, though, in my opinion.
He's winless over 26 starts. 26.
46 and 26 is totally different.
Oh, they're both in the same stratosphere of guys who were considered.
I don't think they're. I think Morikawa is just a better golfer than Cantlay.
They're good. They're better at different things.
Yeah, I guess.
Like I don't know. I would love to believe that Morikawa is just going to bounce back from one of the grossest beats of his life that Russell Henley stole away from him.
I can name like so many times that he's done that exactly.
Oh, come on. If Henley doesn't hold that chip on 16, it races off the green. It might end up in the water. And
and Morikawa just didn't do enough on the back 9. That's like his MO.
Of course.
That's what that guy does.
Of course. I'm not saying anything about that, but I'm choosing not to believe that he is going to come into Sawgrass with this head on straight enough to be able to bounce right back and put up another inspired showing at a course where he's going to have to score. That's the problem.
Yeah, for sure.
At Arnold Palmer, you just have to get out to a lead and hang on for dear life. He tried to hang on for dear life, and Russell Henley is just like, nah. So I don't know if Colin is going to do that. I would like to believe it because this is just a great spot for him. Like ball striking monster, total driving monster. His shitty short game is not going to hurt him as much here because of the runoffs. He's become much better at putting lately, but I just think he's a mental midget. I do. In the same way, in the same way that there are so many other mental midgets who just cannot get over the hump.
Yeah.
I think Colin has fallen into that, kind of, we thought he was going to be an ultra mega superstar and he might just not be.
Did we already use him in one and done?
No, we did not.
Okay. That's going to be interesting to when we.
Memorial.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Memorial.
Fine. Yeah. I don't know. I think Aberg is the way to go. We've been saying it for weeks. Again, hate kind of how tipped he's getting, but he should be here. Like he had a bad Saturday, but
I'm fine with the chalk. I'm fine with chalky in a tournament like this where the purse is the highest of the schedule. I mean,
he putted like shit. Like there's just a lot to like about Aberg here. So I think it's fair. He can be both of our dads for that. I hate Morikawa. So maybe this will at least get me to quit him kind of thing.
What do you mean? You were off him before last week. You literally said, I got a text from you on Saturday. Sorry, I'm back in on Morikawa.
That was before.
Terrible thing.
Sunday. Yeah,
terrible
it was on
thing.
Saturday, quite literally.
Saturday. I'm sorry, I'm back in on Morikawa. I might be back in. So good. It lasted 48 hours. I'm happy for you.
Okay. I'm doubling up on dad bets here because I want to give out there's a couple more bets I want to give out before we. I get it that I have a weird obsession with this guy, and that's fine. But
there we go.
This last week was the third time he's lingering around top 10, entering round 4. He has had a good start to the year. Jason Day, at wherever you choose you want to take his placement, there's still value there on a guy that is playing good golf right now. He's also a past winner. He has one missed cut in 2022. Like, he also alerted everyone to the fact that he's back with his old coach, which I think is fun. And I think it has a lot to do with the way he's playing. His putters looked good, which has always been like a big issue for him. Driving accuracy, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not a massive concern for me. It definitely is. Like, that is absolutely what could kill him. He doesn't rate out that good for me, but I'm going off of the fact that he's in good form. He's playing well. The top 20 is plus 250. You can still get a top 30 at plus 140. I bet his outright during API, and what it's on my cards, doesn't matter. But even like top 10 plus 500, like I still believe that there is value there. I think he's playing solid golf. People, like, even last week, no one was on him. Like, my best bet was top 20. And it, like, to me, that wasn't even like 100%. He was going, like, I felt so confident in that. And I think people just like hate his outfits, and like they got screwed on him his down years, and then now they just hate him. Like, sorry, he starts slow, and if he can put together, like, don't have those round ones, don't have those round twos, he's going to win this year. I feel confident in that.
Yeah, I like the placement. I'm good with that. I'm really worried about the driving accuracy. It's really worrisome here, like almost above everything. It's really worrisome. The approach is almost hit and miss for him. Like, like sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's just meh. You really need to be on the money here. So we'll see what happens there. Someone else I really looked at that I really liked, besides Patrick Cantlay, Nick Taylor. This is a really interesting one for me. And the number was really good to start, and it dropped a lot, but it started out at 150. If you were able to get 150, like, that was terrific. Hopping on this top 20 number plus 350. I think for him, he's one of the few guys that can not try and overpower this golf course, and he will be really good. Like, his putting is terrific. This is the type of course where you want a guy like Nick Taylor who can score. He really does well in raucous atmospheres. Remember, he won the Waste Management. He won the Canadian Open. So, like, he does really well in like these raucous atmospheres with like these big crowds. Puts really well in Bermuda. He's one of those guys that I'd be not terribly surprised if he was right there on Sunday afternoon. So betting him to win, interesting. But I mean, the top 20 number is really nice. It was really nice a few days ago. But he's the kind of guy that can really do some damage out here.
He might be a fun, like, look at that, like, top 10 after round one, or like he might be like,
I bet him first round leader.
I think I might get there. And I think like he's going to be a fun, like, 3-ball bet. Like I think he's someone that I could see myself doing a lot of the like live betting on. I'd like to play him some other way. I just haven't gotten there yet. I'm going to finish my card when we jump off here, but I like the Nick Taylor look. I think he was in the top 5 in my model. I'm not going to lie. I don't have it pulled up.
He rated out really highly.
Okay,
he rated out like 9th in my model.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere between that, like, 5 and 8. It might have been 6 or 7. I don't know what it was. But he did rate out really well for me. So I like the look there. I think I might just go.
I also love him on Underdog. Also love him on Underdog. Like, they have him for round 1 tomorrow at 71 strokes. I feel like he's a prime candidate that you can take a lower on there. 4.5 birdies or better. You're getting plus 112 on that. Okay. I love that for Nick Taylor. So,
you know who I kind of like, just as far as like tomorrow goes, because he is not going to be able, like, this is not someone that I want the rest of the time, but has shot very low here, is Tom Hoge. Like, I think if you're going to use him, if you're going to like play him, I really only want to play him tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't want to give him time to blow up.
You don't want the leash to be, you don't want to give him too much time. Yeah.
When's his Nick tee time?
Taylor, you said.
Yes. When is Hoagie's tee time?
I don't know. I didn't even look.
If he's an afternoon guy, I'd be a little worried. But like those guys that are going to get out there in the morning and like play on this really soft course with very little wind, like Finau Finau 813, Sung Jae 919. All these guys that are like birdie or better monsters, and can take
who I
advantage of
wanted
these
to
easy
bet,
courses.
I don't know how. I like Booby Mac too, but I didn't know how to get there. It feels like a mistake, and I hate the way he dresses. And it's hard to watch him.
Oh, I know. I remember being cursed out after I sent you the 100. What did I send you? A 75-1 Masters ticket. So I sent you a very big number Masters ticket on him, and you're like, nah.
No.
I hate money. Nah.
He would look. Oh, he would look so bad in green. That would be
Green Jack would be so funny. Can I make my case for Patrick Cantlay, or are you gonna have me arrested?
I mean, you have like 10 seconds.
Okay, Patrick Cantlay, second in par 5 scoring, absolute dog off the tee, hits it a fucking mile. A handful of top 25 finishes here in his career. He's 40-1. Like, come on, he's 40-1. I don't care if the guy. I don't care.
Bathwater.
I don't
like.
So is Colin Morikawa. And he's 30 points.
He's 30 At least Colin Morikawa is nice to look at. Like, I don't want to look at Patrick Cantlay's face while he's losing me money.
I don't want to look at his face anyways.
His face is terrible. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I struggle to like see a scenario where he's not very involved there on Sunday, unless he just crashes out and just like falls into the water because he's playing so slow.
Yeah,
but
I know
it's very possible.
I see the argument. Like again, like there's a lot of these guys that are just like not getting over like the.
I don't think he's that popular. I don't know if he's.
I thought I saw him a lot. But maybe I'm
I don't know if he's that popular, but his odds went down. That's why I think he's not that popular.
Okay.
I don't know. Before we get out of here, another guy I really love, Maverick McNeely. Bad number now at 60-1. I saw him around at like 80-1 earlier today, but really good at scrambling from short grass. So putting off those tight runoffs, 8th in scrambling from short grass, 9th here last year. His total approach is where he really shines. He's really good in approach from wedge range inside 100 yards, and he's gained off the tee in 6 of 7 events this season. This is a spot where we like can see like Maverick McNeely, first time player champion. It's like Siwoo-esque from several years ago. We've seen a lot of guys really kind of lurking in the background and then blow up right here. So
yeah, I like it.
Would love to see Maverick McNeely here.
Yeah. My last 2 dad bets here, which I guess I don't even know how many D's I got to this time, but Siwoo Kim top 30 plus 150. I never bet him, so this should fucking go really well. He's
I love it.
He's very consistent when he's playing Pete Dye. You look at his last 5 appearances, looks great. T6, T27, withdraw, T9. Last year here, didn't lose any strokes in like a major category that was super concerning. This last weekend, like his ball striking kind of tapered off. And like, I don't know.
I'm kind of concerned you're not referring to him.
Like around the green, he went fucking crazy. He gained like 6 strokes around the green. But also, did you see Gronk's saying hi to him? And he was like,
I did. He's got no clue. He's got no clue. Zero clue. He's like, who is this guy? Who is this guy?
What did he say? Shake your butt or something? What did he say to me?
Shake your butt.
I was like, oh my God, Gronk, leave him alone. You animal.
I love that he asked Russell Henley for a loan as well. Needs $2.5 million for a new house and dock.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset that you didn't refer to Siwoo Kim with his true God-given name. Yeah. I would request that you refer to him as Pete Dye's daddy for the remainder. He is Pete Dye's daddy. He crushes Pete Dye courses.
Yeah.
Best Pete Dye.
Did I say Spieth already? Did I mention Spieth already?
You didn't have to.
Okay. I got him at
81,
and I did bet him that. And then also, but his top 40 plus 130 is like, I think, a nice little piece if you want to add it to like any of your parlays. I think that's a nice number for a guy that you guys can hate all you want. He's not playing horrifically, like, period. That's it. No. I don't even need to get into numbers. That's fine.
Since you brought up someone you have a unhealthy addiction to betting and can't quit, I will bring up my guy that I just cannot quit. That is Wyndham Clark. Though if he dresses how he did last Sunday, I'm filing a petition to have him sent to Guantanamo Bay because that was horrific. But orange shirt with the pink T-Mobile hat, no, never again. Never again. But runner up here last year, should have won. Still salty. Had the ticket last year. The ticket was good last year. It just didn't work out. Hopefully it works out again this year. We got 60-1 on him to go back out there and play to win at a course that he really is just very good at. And then we got the usual, the top 10s on Xander, the top 5s on Scotty, both the plus numbers. Did you end up taking the 28 on Xander? I'm right there. I want to add it, but I have too many guys.
I end up getting there.
Too many.
I think, it's hard. I mean, I think he showed, and I don't know if I'll get there. I honestly don't have a lot at the top of my card. I will add something after this. I'm just going to pull the trigger. I kind of think I'm going to leave a little space to live bet. I've been doing that a lot lately where I do like to live bet, like get some type of visual on how these guys look. I'd rather take a little bit of the hit than bet them now if I'm like a little bit.
You know me. I love a good post Friday, post Saturday live smack on these guys. So that's how I won my first outright on Harris English this year. So
and that's how I got Campbell because I bet him. Exactly, 100%. All right, I'm gonna end on a dumb fuck bet and then let everyone get out of here because tomorrow's the weekend. Balls in the water on 17 over 52.5. I don't even know if the win's gonna be that bad. I don't know if I really give a shit. I just think it's fun to root for. I like to see the world burn. I think it's a fun thing to get in on. That's over on FanDuel. If you guys are not following Sam, please go do that on X. What is your handle again?
Swagman95.
Coolest
name on Twitter.
95. I will be back on Monday. Rate, review, like, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you guys then. Happy pre-weekend.
Watch him make it, break it.